Master Quan Yin Discourse during the 2022 7 Sacred Weeks on December 10th. Before we begin, let us contemplate the luminous presence of beloved Quan Yin. When we make a habit of contemplating an ascended master before reading his or her words, we connect to their ascended master consciousness, and therefore we can better absorb their teachings. So, feel Quan Yin's light, forgiveness, mercy, and love flooding and surrounding you. And let us dive now into her words. Beloved Quan Yin told us, children of light, with great joy, I approach once again the external activity of humanity to pour my blessings upon you, charging you with my flame of mercy and forgiveness. Know that true mercy is an expression of unconditional love for life that flows in all beings. A merciful person is an unlimited source of forgiveness. They release everyone and everything from any and all debts they may owe them, even when they have reason enough to charge them. They forgive and forget, and they never demand explanations, impose conditions, or require repentance from anyone. You call for mercy, but I ask you, are you a merciful person? My beloved ones, forgiven a friend who made a mistake and regretted it, who comes back crying and begging us for forgiveness is something relatively easy. Now I ask you, do you have the ability to forgive someone who has made a mistake, who does not repent or apologize, and who continues to make mistakes constantly? Think about it. You do not have to answer this for me, but for yourselves. Can you see a human being who, for whatever reason, has deviated from the correct path, who is lost, confused, and acting lightly? And yet you have the situation to forgive them and release them completely from any and all personal debts owed to you or to humanity. You see, I am not saying that human laws should not be fulfilled, and that if someone has committed a crime or transgression, they should not be judged before the law of earth or heaven, suffering the consequence for their negative act. Of course, yes. If someone has broken an earthly or higher law, harming someone, he must suffer the consequences of his or her mistake, because this way they evolve and learn. All of us, ascended or non-ascended, need to respect the human and divine laws for each sphere of evolution. Only when we obey the laws is the harmony of the whole possible. This is something basic, and I believe it does not need to be discussed, as you are smart enough people to understand it. What I would like to make clear to you today is that handing over a person who has committed a real crime so that the human or divine law judges them and imposes a fair penalty for their mistake is something, but hold resentment in your hearts and continue to physically or mentally hound this person with your thoughts and criticisms is quite another thing. Know that you do not help us at all when you act in this way, but definitely understand it is. As you judge and criticize someone, you only collaborate so that the person's dark side expands more and more. With each criticism, with each resentment, with each emanation of judgment and grudge against this person, you only strengthen the living entities that live in the person's aura, make them even more powerful. And if your criticism and indignation is not fair and the person is innocent, you create a dark cloud around the person, which, if he is not alert and protected enough, you can cause him to make mistakes, and those mistakes will be your individual karmic responsibility, and one day you will have to make up for them. Maybe you will not believe me, and I forgive you for that. But we see things from up here and perceive the dark clouds that rise every day in the atmosphere of this planet, created by the constant emanations of criticism, anger, resentment, and human indignation. Know that many of the destructive conditions on this planet would long ago have been harmoniously adjusted if humanity stopped these destructive acts. Look at your newspapers, social channels, and news, and analyze them for yourselves. More than 95% of the news released daily are of a negative nature. And many times, on the same day, on the same radio station, a crime or bad event is told and retold every 30 minutes. And I ask you, how long are you going to continue with these habits? Do you not realize that if the habit of criticizing and repeating discordant matters did any good to you and humanity, all your problems would already be solved? We have our means of visualizing everything that happens within the world every 24-hour period. And we can tell you that most of the criticisms and condemnations that are spread in the world are filled by fictional lies. They are fed only by ideological fights because people were not able to follow their lives and their personal interests and let others also freely follow theirs. We see people condemning others because they are not able to live up to their expectations and mental standards. When many times the people they condemn are not really doing anything wrong, but just following their individual vocations and values, which are just different. And this happens not only in the world, but also among our beloved students. Do you understand where I'm going? When someone commits a real crime, committing an act of violence, theft, or injustice, naturally this person must be brought before the law and suffer the consequence for his mistake. But how much gossip, criticism, and indignation of people happens daily by people who just want to dictate to the world what they think is the ideal of a correct human being for them. These accumulations are hundreds of times greater than actual crimes and abuses. And whether it is something real or fictional in your own mind, do you not understand that dwelling on it and keeping your heart full of resentment only pollutes your life stream in the world? How do you think I became the goddess of mercy? Forgiving, forgetting, and releasing. Forgiving those who regret their mistakes, and also those who still do not realize they are continually making mistakes. I became a source of forgiveness, releasing, transmuting, and working to alleviate the suffering and accumulated negative charge of everyone who passed through my path. And so I built a moment of forgiveness until mercy and forgiveness became the very electronic substance of my body. And I am unable to do anything other than that. I just live to expand mercy and forgiveness. You heard our beloved Metta speak yesterday. The great Sanat Kumara made a vow to release this planet and all of humanity, and that means pushing everyone here into the perfection and beauty of the I Am presence in their hearts. Because where there is a form, there is a piece of the holy body of the cosmic Christ. And even If that substance is darkened for whatever reason, it is part of life and must, sooner or later, return to its original state of purity. My beloved children, all of us, from the ascended host, without exception, work hand in hand, unifying our strengths and abilities, so that every electron that feeds and sustains life on this planet is redeemed and vibrates again in the purity and perfection of the light. And I ask you, please, could you forget a little bit about yourselves, your beliefs, and personal interests, and become more friendly and tolerant, starting to bless and charge each electron that is part of a human, animal, vegetable, or mineral being on this planet with God's love, beauty, and perfection? Could you please learn to accept your brothers and sisters' individual choices and let them go their way in peace and freedom without condemning and hound them with your criticisms and discordant feelings? Oh God, have mercy on us, all humanity and all life on this planet. Descend now with your violet flame of 1,000 suns into the minds and hearts of all human beings, and lift them right now above any and all discordant patterns. Sustain this invincible fire of love and mercy, blazing in each electron that is part of their life strings, until they learn to forgive and forget, returning to the Christy purity that dwells in their hearts. By the invincible power of the mighty I am presence in my merciful heart, and by all service hindered to the light through the ages, I command, I demand, and I know it's done. No, my beloved children, forgiveness is the key that opens all the doors of heaven. But I mean absolute forgiveness. When you achieve this greater forgiveness, all pain in your heart is alleviated. All your negative accumulations are dissolved. All illusion of separation disappears, and you become one with life in all its forms and manifestations. We are in the week dedicated to love on these sacred weeks, and love implies forgiveness, because if there is no forgiveness, then this love is only conditional, and everything conditional is human, and the human must, sooner or later, surrender to the divine. Thank you, Quan Yin. Dear hearts, this was beloved Quan Yin's wonderful instruction to us during the past 7 sacred weeks. Remember that She is the goddess of mercy and also one of the karmic lords. It is also interesting to note that she was the Chohan of the seventh ray before our beloved Master Saint Germain assumed this position. She is always willing to help us when we can make the effort to forgive and forget. I hope you enjoyed her words as I did. The next discourse in this series that I will record, you'll be the one of beloved Polaris and Magnus. And to finish this video, let us again contemplate the luminous presence of beloved Quan Yin and ask her to engrave her instruction in our hearts and minds, helping us to apply it correctly. I leave you in Quan Yin's merciful heart. I appreciate so much your support, and I hope to see you in the next video. God bless you. I am Morgan Le Fay.